What's going on? It's Larry M.F. White. Thrilled that you signed up for this short webinar event. And the goal here is to add as much value to you as possible. If we can add some value to you, you pass it on to your clients, you increase your production. It's a win-win for everybody. We do a number of these. So if this one adds value, make sure that we're connected and that you're following and tapping in and continuing to add things to add more value to your clients and increase your production to make you better and better every single year. I would love to stay connected on social media as well. My handle is @LarryMFWhite on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. That's where you can find me. I do a lot of agent interviews to talk about the testimonials, some of the business plans, how we've implemented some of this. So I would love to stay connected. Take a look here, and then I'll stop back by after our event's over here. And if you have any questions during it, make sure that you type them in the chat box and we'll get to them right away. Hope all is well and best of luck to you. I'll talk to you soon. How do you run your business virtually? How do we survive if we're quarantined for the next 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months? And that's where I want you guys to be at. So let me ask you guys a question real quick. Think about the last time that you faced adversity or crisis. How did you handle that? Did you freak out? Right? Did you hide? Right? Do you just need some time to yourself? Right? Do you sit back? Do you become really silent and focused? Because I can tell you that's generally what I do. I don't have very many knee-jerk reactions at this point in time. Drives my wife nuts at the end of the day because sometimes it comes across as unemotional. But how do we react in those greatest times of need? And I want you guys to think about that. Do you dig yourself into a foxhole or stick your head in the sand? Because I'm telling you guys, right now, I'm telling you this, right now, people need you more than ever. Now is your time to step up, right? Don't get political. Stop pointing fingers at people or countries or anything like that and whose fault it is. That doesn't matter. We're all in this situation here today. So how do you step up and how do you figure out how you can serve your community, serve your tribe, right? Serve the people that are around you that need you at this point in time. That's what I want you guys to figure out. And a lot of the things that we're going to talk about is all about serving clients in a different way than our real estate business has been done in the past. So keep this in mind as well. What you do over the next 60 to 90 days can either create or destroy your brand, right? If you go into that foxhole and your clients don't see you for the next 60 to 90 days, and then, you decide to reemerge after this time, where have you been? People needed you during this time, right? This is where we have to keep our composure and we have to figure out a business plan that works, because I'm telling you guys that people still need to buy and sell homes. That is still a need right now. People still have jobs. Is there uncertainty? Yes. And this is where it's our job as real estate professionals in order to step up and take that leadership role. Be that calming voice, be that lion or that lioness that doesn't have that knee-jerk reaction. They don't waste their energy. They stay focused, they stay calm, and they stay focused at the task at hand. So we are in a service business, guys. I want you guys to write this down as well. Your income is a direct correlation with the amount of problems that you solve, right? Someone that sells 5 homes a year solves a heck of a lot of problems than somebody that sells 5 homes a week, 5 homes a month, right? So your income is a direct correlation with the amount of problems that you solve day in and day out. And what are some of the things that we can do, right, to be the best that we can every day? And that's where I want to start us at this point, right? How do we come into this market? How do we come into this day in peak state every single day, ready to serve our clients and give them all out with all of the adversity, with the kids running in, right? I'm half expecting at some point during this presentation that there's going to be kids that are running in and out because we're homeschooling kids and we can't go to school and we can do this. Guys, we all have the same issues at hand here. How are we adjusting to that and being a leader? And as we get into some of the things that you can do to kind of set your day up for success before we get in to the actual presentation at hand on how we run our business virtually, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the name Gerald Coffee. And if you don't know that name, Google that name. This is an amazing individual. And had the opportunity, Tom Ferry, I've coached and trained for Tom Ferry since about 2014. He's a good friend and mentor of mine. Quite a bit of FaceTime with him. And he has exposure to a lot of individuals. Jared Coffee was a Vietnam vet, and he was a prisoner of war for 7 years. He was also an officer in the Air Force there as well. Actually, I don't want to say Air Force or offend anybody there. He was a pilot. I'm not sure which branch of the Air Force. And Tom was sitting there talking to him before they were both getting ready to go up on stage one day. And Tom was like, man, tell me a little bit about like what you're going to talk about there. And he was like, you know what, Tom? Have you ever rode in a convertible? And Tom's like, oh yeah, I love convertibles, right? He's like, picture going 600 miles an hour and then sticking your head up above that windshield. And Tom's like, oh man, that sounds like it would really suck at this point in time. He's like, yeah, that's kind of what it was like, right? As I was flying in my aircraft and I got shot down and I hit the ejector button and I just catapulted out of this aircraft. I smack into the ocean and immediately I'm surrounded by boats and guns. And I'm immediately picked up and I'm taken into a war camp at that point in time. And for the next 7 years, Gerald was actually placed in a 7-foot by 3-foot cell. Can you imagine that, right? We're sitting here talking about like, oh, I can't leave the house. I can't do this. For 7 years, he was confined to 3 feet by 7 feet cell. And so Tom is sitting there telling me this. And as Tom's telling me this story, I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, like, how do you get yourself out of that state? And so Gerald goes on to start talking about, you know, on a daily basis, he was beaten, tortured, woken up, dragged out of his cell. He's like, but there was a couple of things that I did every single morning and every single night. Tom's like, man, on the edge of his seat. He's like, tell me more, right? And he's like, first off, as new prisoners came in there every single day, I had to let them know that it was okay. So he took that leadership role. And he's like, he started using Morse code to communicate with everybody else that was in there. And his message to everybody was, I love you. You're going to be okay. We'll get through this. Hold on. Right? And I'm like tearing up as Tom's telling me this story. Right? But he's thinking about other people in this time of need. And he's like, the second thing that I did was I did hundreds of push-ups and sit-ups every single day. Right? Because I knew that I needed to be in a peak state every single day. My blood had to be flowing. I had to be operating on all cylinders. So in the midst of being beaten, dragged, tortured, etc., he's sitting here putting himself in the best state possible and trying to be an inspiration for others. This is our time to be that inspiration of others, guys. And so I'll get off that soapbox for right now. But here's what you guys have to do. Right? I wrote down a couple of things as I was talking with Tom a little bit over the past couple of days on things that we have to do. Guys, we have to be doing a couple of things so that we're in that peak state each and every day. Bottom line, do push-ups. I don't care if you do push-ups, right? I'm just using that as an analogy. But exercise, stay physically strong. You deteriorating and withering away is not going to help. Don't give me the excuse, I get kids running around to do this. Bullshit, guys. And I'm just being frank with you. Bullshit. Your kids could use it as well, right? Your kids are bottled up for 24 hours a day. Have them do yoga with you. Have them work out with you. Go for walks with them. Play in the woods, right? Keep our social distance. Do our part not to spread this pandemic that's going around right now. Do that part, but come. Don't let yourself fall apart. Hey guys, what's going on? I hope that that session added a ton of value. Has your mind spinning about how you can not only increase your production, but change how you're currently doing business now to add more value to clients? And so now comes to the point, now that you have that, what are you going to do with it? So there's essentially three ways that we can work together moving forward. The first part is you can take that information that we provided. You can recreate your plan, your goals, and go out there and implement it. That's why we provided this. We think it will help make real estate professionals operate at a higher scale, add more value to clients, and we all kind of grow together. So you can take the information and run with it. Second option is that you can apply to be a part of our referral network. Because we're doing marketing and advertising on campaigns like this and similar campaigns all across the country all the time. And so some people are coming in where we don't have members of our group or members of our team to actually pass the business off. If you want to be a part of our referral network, go to www.setcallnow, apply to be a part of our referral network. We'll talk about how much business you've done in the past, where your strengths are, and where we can align to be able to refer more business back and forth. The third option is to actually be a part of our group or team. We're always looking for talented agents that especially have some leadership capabilities and want to help other people grow. This is just one of the tools in our belt that we have access to that we would love to expand to the right leader to help them help other agents as well. So if you have an aspiration of increasing your production, decreasing your costs, and building something that you actually have some equity in, we want to talk about that a little bit further as well. Same thing, go to www.setcallnow.com and you'll see a couple of options. Apply to be part of our referral network, apply to be a part of our actual group or team, and then there's a couple of other options if you just want to get some time on my schedule. So hopefully this went well for you. I look forward to figuring out how we can do more business together, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks and have a great day.